footage of the minivan being stripped and back to mostly a mini form. One thing we do need to address is the dash light situation. Our warning lights are working just fine, but everything else is not. So thinking about swinging by like an auto parts store, getting some of those little LED strips, and maybe putting them down here at the bottom of the instrument cluster for the steering wheel and the one for the center. You know, during the daylight you can see just fine. Oh god, it's still bumpy. But during the dark times like this, it's kind of hard to see. You know, you can turn on your dome light. Let's see if we can find a dome light. Dome light. There we go. You turn the dome light on and see what you're doing, sort of. But it's not a good solution. So yeah, if anybody has any ideas why these dash lights aren't working, let me know. But most likely just gonna get some of those cheap little LED strips. I think they're like $5. Put those in here and wire it to a cigarette lighter, maybe, or a keyed hot in the car, so that they're on with the lights. I'm driving my death trap. Don't worry, I did not fix the leak in the roof by using Gorilla Tape. It still drips water in. It's okay. I'll fix it later. Well, we finally have some sun on a Saturday. So I figured I'd work outside in the nice weather. But what else could I be doing today on the project cars? You know, the Rustbelt Ramble is 4 months away. And I drove the Mini to work the other day to see if the front end issue was gone. We still know we actually tightened the wheel bearing up a little bit, so that's good now. But we did find out that the right or passenger side outer tie rod has got a lot of play in it. Got some tie rods ordered up from Rock Auto, and they came in a really large box, but not this large box on the hood. That's actually a surprise for another episode. But I do have a hood for the car now, an actual mini hood that we're going to try to put on, and I've got a back seat. We ordered a back seat from our local parts supplier or salvage yard, and it was shipped in from Texas, I believe. It was supposed to be black. It came in gray, so they discounted it to us, so we're going to throw it in the car so we have our back seat for the Lemons Rally, since this year we'll actually have a third team member. And figured we'll get the Astro van front end off the car. We are saving it. We gotta keep it for a different project, or this project again, but I gotta try to save this as best as I can. So I'm gonna set you guys up on the tripod and we'll do a time lapse of getting this front end off. I have really honestly no idea how it comes off. I do know that Drew did cut the wiring harness to wire in these headlights, so it'll actually work perfect for the LED headlights that I have for the car. And so we'll figure that stuff out once we get to it, and maybe unbox that box at the end of the video. All right, a lot of the stuff that's been done to the front of this car to make the van front end work has actually kept all the parts that were mini down here. The biggest concern, I actually forgot what was under here completely. So Punchraft built these longer hood pin mounts so they could use the Astro hood, but the most important thing I was looking for are the things to release the hood. So got the hood clampy thingamajig here, and most of the stuff is just zip tied in here. So we'll cut some of these zip ties, move everything back so we can actually close the hood. I really hope that the factory mini hinges are in here. If they are not, the gentleman that gave us the harnesses technically for the rear tail lights has a car at his house that should have the remaining parts we need. I do got to run out there and grab mirrors. These ones aren't working as well as I'd hoped. You know, they're $5, so we'll put them on something else later. But he's actually got mini mirrors, so we'll pick those up from him this week after work. So first order of business is going to be getting the grill off and these fenders. I'm assuming we're gonna have to take the hood off after we get the fenders off, because they've actually got the factory Astro hinges somehow hooked into there. I think one of these sides has like a saw blade in it or something for a spacer, or did. So figure that out, and maybe when we get this whole front end off, we can actually get our 14mm wrench that's down in the cowl out, because I dropped that down in there when we were taking the whole body off this thing a few weeks ago. All right, since I'm feeling kind of lazy today, we're going to use the death wheel there to cut the bolts, as compared to just trying to loosen them up like a normal person. So we're going to cut the bolts, and there's a few rivets that are holding this extension piece on for the fender. So we'll remove that stuff so we can get that part off of there, and then see what we've got underneath. So yeah, I'm going to probably speed up the video when I cut that out, and we'll go to the other side, see what we find. All right, so I figured out it was easier actually just to unbolt the hood first and then remove the fender, but I did make a surprising discovery on doing that. This is a Cooper S. I've been telling everybody it's just a regular Cooper, but I guess S stands for sporty something, I don't know. Thought the S was for supercharged, but it's definitely not a supercharged mini or turbo. But I guess now we know how that all comes off on that side, so we can get this side done. So this is an 11mm bolt with a nut on the back side. The hood hinge for the van is actually bolted to the fender, so that'll come off. This is a little bit of a nightmare to get to, along with the other bolt down here at the bottom. You can kind of see up there, and then there's a rivet and another rivet up there that will have to come off. Also, it's like the second week of April, and I've already seen a mosquito. That's way too early. I hate mosquitoes. They're just more of a pain in the butt than anything. And they get in my house all the time. I don't know how they get in. They just fly in the house. I don't even invite them in either. So let's get this other fender off real quick, and with the wonderful magic of the internet, here's what we got. Both sides are off. We've just got the Astro grill front end and lights hanging out here. Like I did mention, Drew wired the lights in to some connectors, so we've got those. I should probably clean these up and toss them out, or pull them out of the way so they're not getting wet, or use the 73,000 license plates I have to build the wheel well again, or just find one. But this side doesn't say S, the other side says S, so maybe I can just find the piece that goes in here, or we'll take the minivan, you know, off the fender there and put them over that spot. But so does this open now? Oh, it does. Ah, the hood hinges are missing though. Oh, well, I guess I'm gonna make a phone call or get a hold of Ben, see if he's got some hood hinges, because yeah, we're definitely gonna need those. Unless, oh, those are the hinge. Is part of the hinge. Yeah, success or progress at least. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna try to get underneath there, get this section of old hood unbolted, and see what we got. Oh yeah, and I also mentioned I need my 14mm wrench. It's, oh, there it is. I fell down the roof under the cowl and fell in there, and I couldn't reach it, you know, this direction. So actually works out pretty good. We got the hood off. Now we can lift that up and reach our fat hands in there and get our wrench. That was a 14mm. Throw it there, tools. Cool. Well, I've learned a lot today. Other than getting bit by a mosquito on the side of my head, I learned this car has the optional winter package or cold weather package on it. It has heated windshield washer sprayer nozzle deals. That's pretty nifty. Come in handy out here where it gets cold. Got the neighbors ripping up and down the road on their motorcycles or dirt sickles. So we got that stuff unbolted. Oh, that's where you put the windshield washer fluid. Cool. That's empty. Also, the power steering reservoir. That's what that is, right? Power steering? I don't know what that means. Is that power steering? I don't know. Well, whatever that reservoir is, it's empty, so that's probably good. And now I'm gonna focus on getting this Astro grill off. Luckily the headlights are just a quick unpluggy. Right here is one plug, try to do one-handed, right? So driver's side's or passenger side's disconnected. And yeah, there we go. Driver's side's now disconnected. There. All right, so now I just need to see. This guy is flopping now. Oh, that's two. All right, so this is a twist plug. So I'll get that disconnected. So there's our blinker, which is good because I can wire that into the blinker lights on these new headlights I got. Because the headlights actually have integrated blinkers in them, which is cool. Oh, come on. There we go. Get that twisted out of there. And now, will this just lift out? Oh, maybe not. All right, it appears as though the bumper, this bumper, is bolted to that bumper. So I'm gonna get those out and see if by doing that, this will come off. Here's to hoping. All right, we got the bumper and the grill off, sitting over there. Turns out Drew had running lights wired into the bottom deals on that setup. So they were, looks like JB welded in there, maybe RTV. So what I did is I just pulled them out so I can save that wiring, because it would be nice to actually have some fog lights like running full time hooked into those. So looks like I'm gonna have to unbolt this bracket here. This is the passenger side headlight. So it's bolted in top and bottom here. Appears to be top and bottom here. Maybe I'll just use the old death wheel. Just cut those off real fast because that might be faster. And get those out of the way. Doesn't look like Drew's welds here on the end. This looks like just brackets Drew made here, and this is just factory stuff. So we'll get that off of there, and we can go grab the actual mini hood that we have and see if it fits on the car still. Of course, we're gonna have to remove the extended hood pin things that are on there. All right, well, I got the Astro parts all off the front of this thing, so now we can go grab the hood and see if it fits the car or not. All right, well, the mini hood actually fit on the car pretty decent. We just got to figure out something to do with the headlights. Like I said, I got some headlights sitting in the shed, so I'm gonna go grab those and we'll see if they will work. The wiring normally goes into the hood, and then we'll power the headlights up there because they're bolted in, but we're gonna have to figure something else out. I do have some round headlights that might work, so I'm gonna go grab those, and like I said, we'll see what we can find out.